The 805 Focus is brought to you in part by Nonprofit Connect. Nonprofit Connect provides superior leadership tools and resources so nonprofit leaders and board members can make valuable decisions to move their organization forward to a sustainable and vibrant future. More information on services online at nonprofitconnect.org.
Focus. I'm Dr. Cinder Sinclair with Nonprofit Connect, and we will be bringing you the latest on your favorite nonprofits. So get ready to be inspired. Our special guest today is Silvana Kelly, and Silvana is the Executive Director of the Breast Cancer Resource Center right here in Santa Barbara. Welcome, Silvana.
Thank you for having me, Cinder. It's a pleasure to be here again with you.
Yes, and your organization is doing such important, critical work for so many people, touching the lives of so many. And so would you just start by telling us a little bit about what's going on these days?
Certainly, thank you. So we've been around for 24 years now as a service to our community. All of our services are free of charge, and we function as a non-medical component to women and men dealing with breast cancer, providing support services and educational programs to them free of charge.
Gosh, that's really important. So it's important for people to know that your services are free.
Yes, yes, and it's always been that way. We want them to be able to come to the center and access information that they need to move on and make decisions about their breast cancer diagnosis, or even prior to breast cancer if they're having issues with their breast. They can ask us questions. Where do I go to get a mammogram, for example? Where do I go to get a free mammogram? How can we help them access health care? It's a very important part of what we do. And then when they do have breast cancer, we're providing them with support services. So we like to say that where we come in is once they leave the doctor's office, they come to us, and that's where another stage of healing can take place.
Oh gosh. And so tell us a little bit about the services that you offer.
Yes. So we have our twice a month we have a support group that's offered free of charge, and we do that with a licensed social worker. It's important that we have skilled help to provide these types of support services, but a big majority of what we do we call lay patient navigation. And so people can come in and talk to us as peer counselors as well, and we can walk them through what are the next steps. What can I expect from a diagnosis? Where do I go? What are the practical aspects to taking care of oneself when they're dealing with cancer? We do a lot of that. I think what people don't realize about us as well is that we provide outreach services in the community. So we have a woman that's in the community going to certain targeted populations and talking to them about breast self-exam, how do you do that, and also when to get a mammogram, and again, how to access those services to do so. So we want to make sure that people are aware of early detection as being an important part of their long-term health, and also mortality rates are improved when we have early detection with breast cancer. So that's one component. Another component of work that we do is education overall and wellness. So we speak to the survivors that there are many in our community and in the world. So women want to know, well, how do I continue with my health care? How do I continue to make sure that I'm doing all the things necessary to live a healthy lifestyle? So we make sure to implement programs that speak to that.
So when you deliver these programs, is it typically for an organization, for a single person? How do you actually deliver the programs?
We deliver them at the center, and we do it one-on-one, so
Okay.
people can come to us one-on-one with
all right.
counseling and support, and we also do it in group.
Okay.
So right now, since we've been dealing with COVID, the organization has made a big pivot to providing all of our services in a virtual world.
Okay.
So even with the integrated therapy program, we have that virtually. And what I mean by that is meditation. We have Reiki that's done, distant Reiki is what it's called. And we also have Qigong, which is a slow movement type of body work and also a form of meditation. And we have sound bath, which is, we have a lady that does chimes and different singing bowls, they're called. So people are able to do this in the safety of their home, and they enjoy it. And we have to make sure to also keep the staff safe and healthy as well.
Yes.
So we've pivoted in this direction, and it's working well. The clients have embraced it. And most importantly, we want to make sure that they know we're still here and that they feel connected to some support services, that they don't feel that they're alone. Many of us think that we all have some kind of family, but there are people that don't have family. So we act as that family component for them. And it allows them to be connected to others also when we do that in a group setting. So it makes it wonderful.
That is great. Well, let's say that there's somebody watching and they don't know if they have breast cancer, but they're kind of suspicious there might be something going on and they're not really sure even what questions to ask. What should they do to get in touch with you?
Well, they can call us. So we have someone there at the center every day. They can also email us, and we always respond within 24 hours. And basically what I would tell them once I spoke to them or even write to them is to make sure that they find a doctor, their primary care doctor. And if they don't have them, I most likely would guide them to the Santa Barbara neighborhood clinics because I think they're a great resource for us, and or Planned Parenthood. That's another great resource for people to access to get that clinical exam. You have to start with the clinical exam, and then from there find out if they have a lump, is it suspicious, then what are the next steps, and then we help guide them through what those next steps are.
That is so important. And so I can only imagine you collaborate with all the different providers, Cottage and on and on and on.
We're a resource center, so we act as a conduit to all the various medical facilities in town, whether it's Cottage or the Women's Imaging Center, Sansum, the Cancer Center here, the Ridley Tree Cancer Center. So we're familiar with all the players, the healthcare providers in town, and so we have that way of connecting people. And if you have somebody that's a little reluctant because there might be a language barrier, then we will help them and make those appointments for them. Because it's important not to drop the ball. We don't want people falling through the cracks, especially if they have something suspicious going on. So we're there on that side too.
That is great. So I would imagine a person can find out quite a bit by going to your website too.
Yes.
And so they could probably make a financial donation if they were inspired by the great work that you're doing.
Yes, and they can also find our calendar online for all of our services. And for those services that are being provided virtually, the calendar contains the link to access the virtual services.
That's a great idea.
We've tried to make it very convenient for people because we know that it's just been a challenge while people are at home, how to get the information easily. So we've provided that. But speaking to the financial part, Cinder, I think what's most important is that people need to understand that we are an independent organization. We stand independently. We get support from the community. So we depend heavily on the community for donations and financial support. If we don't have that, we're not going to last. And I think people need to know that there is a need. And even during COVID, you think people were just at home, but there are still people getting diagnosed with illnesses, and breast cancer being one that is so frightening. And it's been important for us to be there for them. And the amount of people that still came to the center and called, we did it safely. We make sure to do distancing and wear our masks so everybody feels safe and comfortable. It still is happening, and I'm just glad that we're there to help walk them through and lend a helping hand. I think it's been very important to do that.
That's so important. I bet a lot of people are really scared when they get the diagnosis or sort of suspect there might be something going on and they don't.
Yes, they are. And I think what's important to understand is that fear comes from a place of not knowing, not being educated about something, not knowing what to expect. And what we do is we help to soothe that fear by letting them know what are the next steps, and to know that they can depend on us, and that one visit just doesn't end there, that they can come back later. They can come back in the middle of their diagnosis or even after their diagnosis when they're ready to take advantage of the programs. I had a lady tell me not too long ago, one of our clients, she said, I didn't know that your services were here, but once I found out about them, I was able to take advantage after my chemo and after all of my treatment because I was in a place where I could actually accept them and work with it. So that was just so wonderful to hear. So letting people know that at any time during their treatment or after their treatment, we're there for them.
Gosh, that is, and it's so amazing that you are funded strictly through donations in this community. And I know all those donations are tax deductible.
Yes, thank goodness. We still are.
Yeah.
It's important, yes. And we also have, we do write some grants, but we're a lean and mean kind of group when it comes to staffing. And I'm sure a lot of other nonprofits are too, so they understand, and I would like the community to understand that every dollar that is spent or provided to us, that 75 cents of every dollar is going to the services and programs.
That is great.
That's very good on our part.
That's very good, very good.
Yes.
Yeah, very lean. That's
very lean.
Way to be. So, I wanted to ask you about events. Do you have any events each year to raise funds or get the word out?
Part of the fundraising process is our events, and we have 2 a year. One in the spring, and that's our Thrive event, and we have it as a fashion show.
Oh.
And so our clients are the models, and we do that in the springtime, and it's really a wonderful, uplifting event, having women feel feminine again. And it's just a celebration, and it's a time for the women and their families to celebrate recovery and survivorship. So it's a wonderful way to honor them. And in the fall, we have what's called Pink Week, and that consists of our gala event and also a webinar series that has many medical components, healthcare, lifestyle components for people to learn more about now and in the future after their treatment.
Remind me if you would, what is the National Breast Cancer Awareness Month?
October.
October. I thought it was October.
Yes, October. So we call it Pink Week for our activities during October. And we have many people in the community that come to us and ask us, could you please present to our group of employees, tell us a little bit about what you do. So we do a lot of that sort of outreach as well during October. But we're happy and available to do it any time of the year.
That's great.
Yes.
So you could go to Rotary clubs or any kind of service clubs.
Service clubs,
women's club,
a lot of corporations. We were just at True Digital last year. They did a pie throwing contest. That was kind of fun. And so we're out there in the community, and I hope that people will seek us out, and we're happy to speak to their employees or their groups and let them know about what it is we do. And we've also been collaborating with others in the community. We started a collaboration with the Organic Soup Kitchen. We thought it was very important to have the clients be able to have nutritious meals. So every Wednesday is when they can come and pick up some soup. And also we started a relationship with Rooted Santa Barbara. And they're a plant-based nutrition organization, and we're going to be working with them on developing a series of nutritional educational programs that's going to be coming soon. So we like to try to address the wellness and lifestyle element of people's care. So that's one of the processes that we're doing, and our education at the same time.
That is so important. Boy, you folks are busy
We're
over
busy.
there.
We're busy bees.
Lean and busy.
Yes.
And you know, making the best of this COVID challenge.
Yes, we have. As I said, we pivoted to providing many of our services in a virtual platform world, and also knowing that we still are at the center, so people can call us. We're happy to do virtual support one-on-one with them, so we can set that up without a problem, and we're there to speak one-on-one. A lot of our work is this face-to-face meeting, and that literal hand-holding, if you will, when people are diagnosed, because it is a sensitive topic.
Yes.
And a lot of women don't know sometimes, where do I begin? What are the questions that I need to ask? So we just help guide them through that. And when they do know, they have other questions that we can you know, expound on that as they move forward in their treatment and their journey.
I'm sure they see you as their angels.
I hope so. I hope so. Being a survivor myself, I feel like
really?
I come from a place of understanding.
Yes.
And understanding, but also being that they can see hope and know that there is a point that they're going to get to where they're going to be healthy again. I think it's very, it's necessary. It's necessary in terms of that coping and fostering hope. It's just vital to what it is we do, to see somebody that understands what you're going through and able to speak to it. The doctors do a wonderful job of dealing with, you know, taking care and healing you, curing cancer, and we take care of the healing that takes place inside.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
That hope is so important, and having a positive vision of, oh, here's someone who is so healthy and they have survived.
Yes, and sometimes you think about, oh, my hair's going to fall out, but it grows back.
Yeah, yeah.
It grows
Thankfully,
back.
look at Silvana. Her hair is beautiful.
I think to deal with children, how do they tell their children when they're going through these types of changes, and we help them through that as well.
That's important. So we have a couple minutes left. Is there anything else that you would like for the community to know about your work?
I think to know that these services are vital to the recovery and survivorship of women and their families that are going through this journey, to know that we're here for them, and to know that the reason why we exist is because of that, because they need us, and also that we depend on our community to support us.
Yes.
We are hand in hand with the medical community, and even though people don't necessarily venture down a cancer path, that if you do have to come upon that door, that you can walk through it, and we're there to help.
That's beautiful. Do you think there are very many communities that have a breast cancer resource center?
There aren't many like us, but what we see now nationally are cancer centers that are providing patient support services, and I think that is so wonderful because it's needed. So yes, people are going to have questions about their care. What are the other components of their care that they can implement? Is it yoga? Is it meditation? Some people like to read and find out more information, so you have a library. So a lot of cancer centers are providing that. When we first started the organization 24 years ago, it was a novel concept to have patient support in the way that we were doing it. and we continue to do so, and we still continue to provide a service where people can talk to us one-on-one and talk to survivors, which is quite different when you go into a medical facility. A lot of times they don't have that time frame to sit with you for an hour or whatever it takes to answer your questions. So we fill that gap.
Oh gosh. Silvana, thank you so much for being with us today.
You're welcome.
And also for all the important work you're doing that touches the lives of so many people.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity to tell it to our community too.
Hooray. And thank you for joining us on 805 Focus, and we'll see you next time.